You know that famous raw Korean crab dish, Ganjang Saewoojang?
Well, can I introduce you to this?
This is Korean Soy-Marinated Shrimp, Ganjang Saewoojang, and it's super easy to make. So today I'm gonna make one of my favorite Korean dishes, along with the other few components in this dish, so it'll be like 3 recipes in one video.
Damn good deal.
First off, yes, I know there's gonna be comments about like eating raw shrimp and how it's dangerous for you. But yes, there's like always a risk when you eat raw food. It all comes down to like processing and the supply chain and like how many hands touch it and if it's like being like cycled through the supply chain safely. I live in LA, there's fish markets here, so I have a safe place to source raw shrimp. Generally speaking, you're looking for the freshest head-on and tail-on shrimp. And frozen isn't necessarily bad. The freezing process helps kill parasites as well as preserve freshness. So if you aren't sure where to start or whatnot, I would just go to your local fish market or fishmonger and just ask them, can I eat this shrimp raw? Let's start this. First thing is clean these up. I'm gonna cut off that spike on its head, cut off the whiskers, legs. This guy's cleaned up. Ooh, gross. Metal skewer. Let's take out the poop. Oh, there we go. Skewer. Oh, Jesus. Ew. Oh my God. Look at these buttes. 3% salt solution. We're gonna wash our shrimp in here. Make sure they're all cleaned. And strain them out. Ooh, garlic. I need you to chill completely. Lots of peppers. Some bulb vines. I use the zest for something else. So this is Ikura, or salmon roe. You can normally buy this frozen from the fish market, or you can buy it thawed and refrigerated at your Asian grocery store like H Mart. It kind of just tastes like salty fish boba. I can see why most people are like, ew, gross. You can eat it like this, but the best way is to marinate it. It brings out the sweetness, saltiness, sake. It just tastes like 1,000 times better than as it comes already. My fish chef teacher, I spent like a month with him just learning how to break down fish. He gave me this recipe for Dashi Ikura. Let's make the Ikura marinade. A cup of soy sauce, 1 cup of sake, a tablespoon of mirin, and 1 quart of katsuo dashi, or just any dashi. I'm using banana flake dashi here. You're just gonna boil it so you can cook off the sake. That's it. You need to chill this down. Go pot in a bowl. What the hell you wanna call that? Your marinade. And let it chill out. The process for marinating this I always thought was like a little wasteful. You essentially throw out 3 batches of marinade and I've never really thought of what to do with it because it's just like really fishy tasting. My teacher taught me to just toss it out because it's used up by then, but if you think of something to use with that leftover marinade, let me know in the comments or something because I always thought it was wasteful, but it tastes so good at the end of this. All right, so first rinse, evenly dispersed fish boba. Just strain it out. All right, second rinse, And then you let this sit for 20 minutes.
王医生不是中国人。
Second marinade goes in, another 20 minutes.
王医生不是中国人。
Dr. Wang is not Chinese. Beautiful. The color is slightly darker. It'll taste way better. Sweeter. There's the katsuo flavor, so it's smoky. And that's it. Good. Take your rice, water, a little bit of dashi.
절전 모두가 백미.
What did he say?
We're gonna season our rice. Cut the rice. You don't want to press down on it. So this is my sushi rice seasoning that I will do another video on. We're only gonna season it lightly. Touch of sesame oil. Ooh, it's a lot. I just blended up some kim, Korean seaweed. Cover with a wet towel until you're ready to use. Three long fucking days, eh? Take off our lid. Ooh. It's completely raw, but the marinade has like sucked in. The flesh is like sweet. It's cured a bit, so it's like tightened up. It's like one of the best bites in the world. I like to just rip off the head, and then you can suck out head juice from this, and it's really good. It's really sweet. And then you peel off the shell, and then you eat it raw. You know, like white people are like, oh, it's so gross. Like, get cultured. This is a delicacy in Korea. People wanted to preserve food longer. Pop the shells off. I should have worn gloves for this. Not because I don't mind touching raw meat. The peppers are kind of burning my fingers. So like, fuck it. Let's assemble this. Our seaweed rice. Ganjang Saewoojang, or soy-marinated shrimp, Dashi marinated Ikura, yuzu kosho pickled daikon, my favorite food in the world, uni. They're like shredded dried red peppers for garnish. Some of the marinating liquid in here because you pour it on top. Wipe your hands before you touch rice. Tuck one back here. Wait. Woo! That thing's so pretty. Ugh. Let's eat this. One of these heads and squeeze out. Ooh. Ooh. And you mix this up. If you don't like seafood, you're fucked. If you love seafood like me, this is like heaven right here. I don't know how to explain. This is hands down one of the best dishes I've made. I'm just cutting up the shrimp a little bit because it's a little fat. Also, shout out to Mash Stoneware. It's where this bowl is from. Yoshido. Let's chat a little. I've had a weird year. I've learned a lot this year. And as you can tell, I'm filming off a camera. I decided to really amp up my long form content. Got a bunch of lights, mics, set up everything for this place to be the long form studio for me, which I've never really done before. I've always just kind of filmed with a second phone and just kind of like filmed everything. I'm getting really tired of short form. It's not really fulfilling for me. That kind of brings me to like my next point, which is like, what is fulfilling? What am I gonna do? Why are you watching this? Why am I making this video? I'm not a chef. I'm just a home cook. I learned from the internet, from YouTube, from videos like this. The other half of where I learned stuff, I staged. Staging means to intern, but you intern at a restaurant, get to help with prep, maybe you get to work on the line, maybe you get to go on Garmo, maybe on the hotline, saute, grill, and you get to learn how to be a cook in a restaurant hands-on in the kitchen, in the fire. And that's like the second place I learned a lot. I've been staging at a restaurant in LA called Budanoki, learning how to like run a restaurant, how to clean up, how to take inventory. And at the end of January, I'm gonna do a pop-up with Budanoki. So if you're based in LA, I would really love for you guys to come by. I'll put the information somewhere. I'm gonna make this dish, or a variation of this dish, for the pop-up. The goal for next year for me, I'm going to be the representative of that home cook who never worked in restaurants, who never went to culinary school, but who can show you all of the ins and outs of a restaurant, what it takes to run a restaurant, trying to democratize food, fine dining especially. As Gusteau said, anyone can cook. But I think the full phrase is like, anyone can cook, but it takes something to be chef. I can't remember. If you're in LA, please come by my pop-up end of January at Budanoki. Feel free to comment about like what kind of recipes, videos you want to see from me. So the types of long-form content that's coming is like recipe videos, vlogs, POV of me staging and interning at restaurants, so I'll have a GoPro, my own pop-ups, which include dinner parties or working in restaurants and then pop up with them. See you next time.